Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Convo. My name is Dave.
And I'm Lori.
And we wanted to come to you with a little bit something different. If you haven't watched any of these before, this is an intentional time for us to get together, have some conversation, bring some reality back into our relationship, talk about anything really. I mean, anything goes. I mean, we've been using these conversation starters to kick off some conversation and just give us a topic to talk about. But you know what? We thought we wanted to come to you with something a little bit different in light of what happened last night. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
you could have been a fly on our wall.
oh my gosh.
Glad you're not.
So we're going to talk about it, and the intent is for you and your husband, you and your wife, to take this conversation back with you and continue it on. And then we want to know more about it and comment below in the comments because we want this conversation to keep going. Amongst each other.
I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about what happened last night and it's just playing in my head.
So with that being said, let's paint the picture for you. Let's kind of frame it for you and kind of catch you up.
Yeah. Okay. So you know those, I don't even know what they're called, but those big
gelatin ball.
Yeah, it's a gelatin ball, okay? I think the kids got it from Five Below, but it's this big ball that's filled with gel, but it's not only filled with like the slimy gel, it's filled with sparkles.
Glitter is right from hell.
So, our kids were at each other's throats. We've got two boys, I think we've said it before, but a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And they were just, I'm not going to even say in rare form because they were just in their normal form.
They were in normal form.
They were in normal form. And they were just bickering back and forth and pushing each other. And Ryan, our littlest, had this big gel awful thing in his hand and goes to throw it at Colin.
You have to hit him with it.
Yeah. And, well, this thing shouldn't break. It broke. And Colin, it was...
Have you ever seen the movie Ghostbusters when it was like fake... Right? I just thought of that. I remember...
Nickelodeon when it was like the slime.
Yeah, in Double Dare or whatever it is. Yeah. So
that was what was in our living room.
Picture the green Slimer guy ghost thing. And remember when he hits one of the Ghostbusters in the hallway in that hotel? And he's just like covered in goo from head to toe. And Colin didn't know what to do. I mean, he was just like...
It was literally dripping down.
off of his nose, off of his mouth, like strands of this glittery slime.
I'm laughing now. I was not.
Our response
I
now
was not laughing.
is way different than how we reacted.
Oh.
And he was sitting in a chair when he did it, and we heard it. We heard the gooey splash.
Not a chair. It was one of our good couches.
A couch, yeah, cushion couch chair.
It wasn't just a chair, like a plastic chair. This was like our living room.
And mind you, like the day before, that whole entire day, we were in a meeting and we were exhausted. Lori's not feeling well. We were just tired. We wanted it to be a relaxing night, as I'm sure you probably have experienced yourself, and then something got in the way of that.
Oh,
and
totally
here we are,
for a loop.
all over Colin, all over the floor, all over the chair. And it's not just a goo, it's a gold glitter-filled goo all over the place. So now here we are. And I'd like to say that we probably reacted a little bit better maybe than we could have.
If this was a couple of years ago, I would have been scared for how we would have reacted.
Yeah, let me just tell you, like,
We're yellers.
Yeah, we are. We're trying not to be, but we
our
are.
Our normal tendency is to yell.
We're working.
Yeah.
We're working on that. This is a look at how we're on the struggle bus, you guys. Like we're barely even driving it. We're like next to the cliff on the struggle bus. But so I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so here we are. I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know what to do. It was just one of those quiet moments, like.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
And he said that. He was like, I don't even know what to do right now.
Yeah,
like, you don't prepare for goo all over your living room.
Yeah. Oh, it was horrendous. So that got us thinking. How do we respond under pressure? And I'm wondering if this is something that you struggle with, because we do. And we wanted to dive into that a little bit more and unpack that with you. And maybe we can all work on responding instead of reacting in certain situations that really bring a lot of stress. So that kind of gives context to a stressful situation, but I want to bring it into the context of marriage in our relationship.
Because it gave us a good opportunity to kind of like take a step back and say, okay, like how would we react to something else and want to do it the right way? And not a right or a wrong way, but just in a better way.
We want to do it in a responsible way, in a loving way. We want to communicate to our spouse, that we're on the same team, you guys. Like we're not doing this this marriage lifestyle, this marriage thing, by accident, right? I mean, we believe that we are placed together, and that we have a responsibility towards one another. And you know what? We're gonna keep growing in this marriage, and this is an area that we struggle in and want to get better at.
Yep.
So we want to unpack it with you. So we want to lay out just a few steps that would help us, and maybe it would help you. And you know what? We want to kind of preface these 3 steps with, these kind of work for us. This is what we're doing. Maybe you try it. Maybe you take some form of it, 1 or 2 of the 3, or none at all. What's important is that you and your spouse, you get together and you discuss, what do you guys need in your dynamic, in your relationship, given your personalities. What do you need to do when a stressful situation comes up? Mm-hmm. So that you have buy-in together in how to handle it and walk through it together.
So let's jump into the first one. And
Number
one
one.
of the first things that we had thought was we need to just take a step back and just take a breath. Like, give yourself the time and the space to just breathe instead of just going crazy, because it's just easier to just kind of give yourself a moment.
Give your attention some space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Whatever that looks like to you. Maybe it's going into a different room. Maybe it's going outside, getting a breath of fresh air.
We've done a drive, like we just need to go in the car and drive around the block.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself some space.
Like, you feel like sometimes you just want to scream into a pillow, or go out to some abandoned field somewhere and just yell at the top of your lungs where no one can hear you.
Have you done that?
In my head.
Oh, I've never done that.
I have done it in my head. So I know that sounds like the epitome or like the cliche thing to do to separate yourselves, but let's logically think through that. How can 2 people who are heated, who are angry, who are frustrated really have a responsible conversation and actually respond to one another? We're talking about not reacting, right?
Now that can be hard though, because like we've been together almost 20 years. So earlier in our younger years, when we would have a heated discussion, Dave would want that time, and I would just want to talk right then and there, get it over with, get it done. So if he was asking for that time, I wasn't really willing to give him that time because I didn't understand. So if you have a spouse that doesn't need the space before they come together, these are conversations that are best had before there is a heated discussion. So then you know, okay, when something does come up and I ask for my space, it's not just like out of left field. So then they know, okay, well, we talked about this. She's not just being a jerk, or he's not just being a jerk. He really just needs this space. So let me give that to them, and then we can come back together.
Yeah, you're setting the expectations.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. What's number 2?
Number 2, I don't know, let me look.
We want to gain perspective.
We need perspective, yeah.
Yes, we need perspective.
Because I think a lot of times, again, if we're in a heated discussion.
Never,
yeah. I am not looking at him in the best light, because obviously he's done something to annoy me or frustrate me or anger me or whatever. So I may not be putting him in the best light at that point. So I have to, again, take a step back, breathe for a moment.
You want to give me the benefit of the doubt. Cut me some slack, woman.
I know, but it's hard sometimes. So giving a different perspective of just giving him the benefit of the doubt that, okay, he wasn't trying to be a jerk, or he wasn't trying to make me mad, but it just came off that way. So giving the other person the benefit of the doubt and really seeing it from their perspective, which again is not always easy, but if we're intentional about it before something happens, it's easier to kind of take that path when we are.
You're talking about empathizing.
Yes.
Right? We talked a lot about that in some of our recent posts. Like that's an area that we want to grow in, is empathizing, showing empathy, really relating with each other and how they're coming to me. When Lori comes to me, she's coming to me in a vulnerable state. She's showing vulnerability, and if I don't respond and meet her where she's at, and really kind of gain the perspective of, I'm trying to walk a mile in her shoes, right? It's a not what affects me, it's how I affect her. If I'm truly empathizing with her, now we're on a common ground, and I'm really trying to understand her perspective. So that's an area that will certainly help, and that's an area that we're definitely trying to grow in.
Mm-hmm.
So number 3, did you want to add more to that?
No.
Oh, well, we alluded to it a little bit. We talked about it a little bit. We're really focusing in these stressful situations on responding instead of reacting. So what does it look like when we react?
You're just going off the handle and you're not even thinking first. You're just having your emotions dictate what you're doing.
Yeah,
And that is never good, especially if you're a woman.
When we react, we have the stance that the world is affecting me and I'm going to react to it. Mm-hmm. When we're responding, we're looking at it as though how we affect the world, and we're going to respond to that.
How we can be part of the solution.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. You said it best. We're really trying to we're trying to be on the same team. We're trying to discuss with like 2 grown adults, like 2 married people who actually want to be in a relationship. We're trying to discuss what's going on, what happened, and how we want to move forward in a meaningful way. In a meanful way.
Mm-hmm. Intentional. We have to be intentional about how we want to have heated discussions.
That's right.
So that they're solution filled and they're, I don't know.
Yeah, you guys, we all get angry, we all get frustrated, right? I mean, these are emotions that are real, that happen, but no one really ever taught us how to
fight fair.
Yeah, like how to fight fair, how to actually have a difficult conversation. Maybe we should do some more of that. How to have difficult conversations. Comment below if you want to know more about that, because you know what, I want to know more about that. Yeah. And what are some things that we've done that can help you? Oh, okay.
Or some things that we've really screwed up that
we can definitely share.
What not to do.
We can definitely share that with you.
So the other thing I wanted to add too, because we talk about like the marriage part, but with our kids, because sometimes we will react or respond differently to different situations, and one of the things that I don't even know who we heard this from, but we've definitely adopted, is coming up with like a safe word where if one of us are reacting instead of responding to our kids in not a very great way, we'll have a word that we say, and our word is chocolate cake. So if we are, I don't know, just kind of going off on our kids, one of us that isn't doing it will be like, hey, chocolate cake, and it will kind of just be a wake-up call of, you're being a jerk, you need to stop.
Yeah, set that safe word. And
beforehand.
And that's, if you've got little kids, like they're not going to really catch on to it. If you've got younger kids, they'll probably catch on to it, but that's okay.
Just change the word.
Change the word over time. You know what? Honestly, there is nothing wrong, in our opinion, with your kids seeing you actually catch each other and help each other and be together on a heated conversation. When it's, I don't know. I think that's a great thing. I think our kids need to see parents on the same team. It's so important. So. We're going off on another tangent. This is definitely outside the scope, and that's another coffee and convo session. But we wanted to be real. We wanted to come to you guys with something that is on our hearts very, very recently, as of last night, and just kind of share with you some of our tips that really kind of work for us, and we're a work in progress. Something we're going to continue to practice. So we're really interested and excited to keep this conversation going. So talk about this with your spouse. Find out what works for you and comment below what you're going to try, or let us know what you actually do. What does work for you? Because we want to know about that. Again, this is a community that we're just facilitators. We just want to start the conversation, and we want you guys to keep it going.
I love it. Fair? So you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.